Ghostbusters Frozen Empire in theaters March 22nd.
You're watching the SEC Baseball opening weekend. Baumwalker Stadium is the place to be again this afternoon. Arkansas Razorbacks, winners of 11 straight, including their SEC opener against the Missouri Tigers, go for a Series W this afternoon. Hey, welcome up to the booth. Brett Dolan, Troy Eklund, thanks for joining us. Arkansas had an 8-0 win yesterday to claim the opener, and in fact, all 8 runs came on homers, and they found that long ball stroke.
They really did. You know, a couple miscues by the Tigers. Arkansas took advantage of it. Yeah, the power swing really came together when conference play started for Arkansas. After a hit batter, Nolan Sousa comes up and hits a rope, a line drive right over that yellow line. Roslovich, this one was a no-doubter, Brett, on top of the building. And then Kendall Diggs got a big swing out there. He hit that one into the darkness. And Sousa again hooked one right down the line on top of the building also.
How about that for his first SEC game? A pair of home runs from Nolan Sousa. That was fun. It's always fun when Hagen Smith is on the mound.
Boy, he was really dealing, feeling that fastball. The slider was his punch-out pitch. He was mixing in some change-ups as well, but he looked as good as ever on the mound.
Just fantastic for Hagen. He threw 100 pitches, again 10 strikeouts. So what he has done over his last 22 innings, how about 48 Ks? That's otherworldly. In your game summary, you see Hagen with that strong performance and the 4 homers again for the Razorbacks in that 8-0 win. So today it's a Brady Tygart start for the Hawks.
Yeah, Tygart has been really good. The breaking ball has been exceptional. A little bit of issue with the command on that fastball. See if he can get that back today. Look at that eye-popping ERA and the 27 punch-outs with only 7 walks.
Yeah, the walks have been few and far between. This is a Missouri team that'll have a little different looking lineup today. Brock Daniels will lead off. Caden Peer will bat 9th. Jackson Lovich, brother of Ross, batting 3rd. And the Tigers would like a bounce-back performance after 4 hits and no runs yesterday. Troy, they didn't get a runner to third base all game.
Yeah, it's just one of those days that you're going to have to flush and have a short memory, and that's the beauty of baseball. You get a whole nother chance the very next day.
How about that view looking into Baumwalker on a 66-degree Saturday afternoon? Brock Daniels leads off, Brady Tygart ready, and we are underway with a wave and a miss. Our plate umpire, Danny Cricks, here this afternoon. Brandon Cooper at first, Nathan Huber at second, Morris Hodges will be at third. So Daniels did not see any action yesterday. St. Louis native, 1 game a year ago. Started with Oklahoma back in 2022. Fouled right at the plate. So for Tygart, remember he started game 2 of that twin bill last Saturday when we played a pair of games and went 4 scoreless innings. 88 pitches though, Troy. He had to throw a lot of pitches to get through his 4 innings.
Yeah, that fastball kind of got away from him just a little bit. Had to lean on the breaking ball and the changeup a little bit more.
2-strike pitch, cut and a missed. He begins the game with a K.
That really nice changeup right there by Brady Tygart. You can tell the difference as a starter than a reliever. He was pretty much fastball, breaking ball, but he's mixed in that changeup, and he'll throw it especially against those left-handers.
This is Trevor Austin, 7 home runs, including 4 last weekend. How about that big slow curveball? Austin yesterday had a double in the 4th inning against Hagen Smith, but he struck out twice.
Was he the only guy that got an extra base hit? I believe so.
Because 2 of the singles were infield singles. No, Curtis had the double late.
That's right.
And he's not in the lineup today. High pop-up. Sunglasses on, glistening. But Aloy makes the catch. Pop-up's always an adventure here at Baumwalker. Wehiwa had that one measured. And Jackson Lovich will bat. Younger brother of Ross. Had a single and a walk, couple of strikeouts yesterday. Really battled Hagen Smith in the 4th inning when he struck out. He might have fouled off 6 or 7 pitches. Big brother Ross said before the game today He goes, he had a pretty good game, but that's how I like it, where he can have a quality at bat but not get the numbers or not get the hits.
Feel good about himself, but
still 0 for 2.
Don't do any damage against us.
Yeah, actually 1 for 3, but he'll take it.
Yeah, that was a really great at bat against against Hagen Smith.
How do you hang in there against that breaking ball? It starts to flutter and the knee moves, and I mean Ross has probably seen that a few times facing Brady, but brother's a right-handed hitter, and he didn't care for that one.
Well, I think as a hitter you give up on it so early because it's so high. Great location right there by Brady Tygart, the bottom left part of the zone.
Here's your defense for the Razorbacks. Hold at third base today. Rolled in behind the plate. Here's the 1-2. Big breaking ball, strike 3. That pitch is almost unhittable.
That thing had a parachute on it, Brett. A little hang time for Brady Tygart. 2 Ks in the first inning.
When are sports more than sports? When your highlight reel opens the door to 4 years of higher education, 0 student loan debt, and NIL earning potential. When your stats include free room and board, nutrition and mental health support, plus medical care with extended coverage. And when your experiences, friendships, and development put you in the win column for life. For college athletes, sports just mean more.
It begins with the flicker of an idea. And when that idea happens, in a place made for creative, collaborative thinkers, that idea can transform you.
Weekend at the ballpark. The only thing that could be better would be a nice pint. We won't be able to participate just yet. Got another Hawaiian in this series. Javen Pimental, Arizona transfer, and a left-hander taking his cracks against a lot of righties today for Arkansas.
Yeah, some numbers that really jump out at me, Brett, is the 17 punch-outs, only 2 walks. He really fills up that strike zone. He'll sit about upper 80s to low 90s with that fastball, throw a changeup and a slider as well. Brett, lefty's hitting 364 off him, righty's only 237.
It's interesting, isn't it?
Really is.
Might think it'd be the other way around. It's Stovall, Aloy, and Diggs. Then Holt not only starts, he bats cleanup today. McLaughlin bats 5th. Jones in left. Souza the DH. You can't keep him out of the lineup. Lovich will bat 8th, even though he's been red hot against the lefty. Parker Roldan catches and bats 9th. Pimental ready. A young man who had 7 strikeouts against Purdue Fort Wayne in his last start, 5-5 as far as the Ks in his 2 previous outings.
Mizzou going with the bright yellow jerseys.
Boy, again, if we were playing at night and you'd turn the lights out, you'd still see those jerseys. Arkansas with the pinstripes. Stovall steps in. And the first pitch a little bit in for ball 1. Arkansas had just 7 hits yesterday, but when 4 of them clear the fences, and they're all multi-run homers with the exception of Souza's last, you can jump up the run column quickly.
Yeah, Arkansas really took advantage. A hit batter, and then the first home run by Souza. And then the 4th inning, a walk to Stovall. Diggs hit a home run.
And Arkansas has 21 homers on the year. 17 have come in this homestand, which concludes tomorrow. Kendall had one of those blasts. He's ready to go already. 2-1 to Stovall. Just about got him missed in.
Seems like Missouri's really gone inside to Stovall, really trying to tie him up a little bit.
And he did get plunked. Looked like he was going to get hit on the previous pitch. That time he wears one, and you wouldn't blame Peyton if he was a little bit nervous about getting hit by a pitch. It's the 20th time this year Arkansas has worn one.
And right in the back. There's
Between the 1 and the 0.
There's no way to get out of the way of that one.
Well, we got a battle of Hawaiians here. Wehiwa Aloy, Javen Pimentel. And that pitch carries a little bit outside and misses to Wehiwa's, batting .224 with a couple of home runs. Reached base a couple of times yesterday, but went 0 for 3. Did score a run. Flied out to the warning track in left. Felt backing out of play. Arkansas winners of 11 straight, trying to make it a dirty dozen of wins and win this series as well. 40th all-time meeting with Mizzou. Pretty good pitch over the inside corner for a called strike at 90 on the gun.
This Missouri outfield's playing Wehiwa Aloy very deep. He's got tremendous power to all fields.
Stovall at first, no one gone. And that's strike 3. Inside corner. Really nice pitch to work the parameters of the zone from Pimentel to get the K. And this fellow Hawaiian. Kendall Diggs steps in, and Troy, we were talking about this at bat yesterday in the 4th inning after a mound visit. The starter stayed in, and Diggs took him out.
Yeah, you just felt like that Lunsford was in there one batter too long. I think that was a conversation with Coach Jackson. Said, you know, hey, I think you're almost out of gas. Says, no, I can get this guy. And that's what Kendall Diggs did. So sometimes your heart is a little bigger than what your arm can do.
Yeah, Coach Jackson gave his starter a chance, and you felt like maybe he was a little bit out of gas indeed, and Kendall made him pay with what was his 4th home run. You see Kendall's numbers. It's amazing now, as we featured him in the Open last night, how he's atop the leaderboard in pretty much most of the team categories. For a while it was Sprague-Lott. Now Sousa has the best batting average, but Kendall has the most runs scored, the most hits, the most walks, the most doubles, the most home runs.
It's kind of what you expect from Kendall Diggs. And again, he just goes about his business.
Great jump from Stovall. Get a decent throw, but not in time. Hernandez has got a tremendous arm and gun behind the plate, but Stovall got a really good break to get his first of the year.
Yeah, Pimentel is just a little bit slow to the plate, about 1.5, 1.6, and Hernandez did all he could do. He threw a dart down there, and boy, you talk about
close.
A bang-bang play.
Chance for Arkansas to strike first. Good pitch again. Strike 3 called again. Pimentel's painted a couple of strike 3s.
Yeah, he's done a really nice job working that outside corner away from Diggs right there. Clearly a strike, and just dotted it.
Peyton Holt gets the start. Sprague-Lott was at third yesterday against the right-hander. Now Holt starts against the lefty. Batting .372, and there's a chopper foul wide of first past Lovich. Coming into the series yesterday, Arkansas's 2 best batting averages were the 2 guys in essence kind of competing for playing time at third base, with Sprague-Lott and Peyton Holt.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a battle over there, trying to figure out who's got the hot hand, either at the plate or with the glove.
You think it might be predicated on what type of starting pitcher they're facing for a while?
Could be.
Pitches up and out from the lefty.
I think you just kind of feel like that Holt is just kind of that Energizer bunny, that spark plug to that lineup. Maybe just a little bit more than the Sprague-Lott, but they both had really good seasons so far.
Well, that sweeper almost came through him.
Just about hit that front elbow, didn't it? No guard for Holt.
See if Arkansas can get a run without a homer. They didn't do that yesterday. Outfield very deep all weekend, so a base hit should easily score Stovall, and the count has gone to 3 balls and a strike.
Yeah, and the infielders, Austin at second and Garcia at short, they're playing pretty straight away for Peyton Holt, so Stovall can get a really good secondary lead. He can bounce off that base and, yeah, score easily on a base hit.
Hitters count for Holt. That's a strike called. That was a late call by Danny Cricks. Holt thought he had ball 4. Instead, the count has gone full.
Holt thought that ball was inside. It's a really nice job by Hernandez. I think he might have stolen right there.
Here comes a payoff pitch. And that's outside. That's ball 4. So he gets the walk after all that. And it'll bring up Ben McLaughlin.
Brett, there is a little bit of breeze blowing out to right center field, so anything in the air that way is really carried during batting practice today. There's Old Glory.
You know, it's nice in the sunshine, a little bit cool in the shade, and a bit of a breeze as well. Nice pick by Hernandez. We've been reasonably lucky weather-wise. I mean, it could be a little bit nicer. I'd always advocate for warmer temperatures.
97 is your low temperature.
Boy, that'd be
right?
ideal. That'd be perfect. But sunny and dry. Boy, Dallas, that area has been hammered with some weather, and you know, you start to see some other games affected around the country this past week and this weekend. Not here. McLaughlin would like to affect this game with a base hit. 15 runs batted in, but he went 0 for 4 last night, which was a rare 0 for Benny Barrels, and that's at the belt for a called strike.
You can see a little nod by McLaughlin. He knew that pitch was in the zone. Again, the high strike is the area of focus for these SEC umpires.
And I like it. I think it's good for the game. At times you might see a pitch, and we're kind of reflecting back on muscle memory where you're like, well, that looks up, but we had the benefit of the zone, and more often than not, it's at that belt, it's in that box. And that should be a pitch that the hitters should enjoy being called a strike. They'd rather have that one called a strike than 1-2 balls below the kneecaps.
Yeah, I think so. You can, as long as it's over the plate, you've got a shot to make some pretty hard contact.
2 on, 2 out, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Deuces wild for Ben McLaughlin. And he nearly took out a couple of Tigers. My goodness, he may have. That is a dangerous situation. I hope everybody's okay.
Man.
There was just a couple of Tigers that went flying down off that railing.
It hit the screen. Now, years ago, Brett, there wasn't that netting.
Well, you're right. The ball did kick away, and I hope it hit off the railing rather than an individual. There's a chopper towards Garcia. Had him played perfectly, and he wins the foot race to second in front of Peyton Holt for the force to end the inning. Couple of free base runners. Hogs do not score. 1 inning in the books from Pont Walker.
When are sports more than sports? When your highlight reel opens the door to 4 years of higher education, 0 student loan debt, and NIL earning potential. When your stats include free room and board, nutrition and mental health support, plus medical care with extended coverage. And when your experiences, friendships, and development put you in the win column for life. For college athletes, sports just mean more.
When I was younger, I played make-believe. Now when I close my eyes, I just fall asleep. Dream on, to infinity and far beyond. Maybe they'll take you fabulous places. Maybe you'll wake up right where you belong. But dream on.
McLaughlin, I think it got somebody on the arm on that top railing. The guy we watched going down was, I think, immune from this liner. Wow, was that dangerous.
Man, that hit somebody, the guy, the second one from the left. And you're right. It's just glad somebody didn't really get hurt.
DH Thomas Curry in to face Brady Tygart. Mizzou went down in order in the first. Tigers had a game this year where they scored 14 runs in the first inning with 17 men batted against Northern Kentucky. I don't know how many 14-run first innings I've seen, but right now the Tigers would take a run 10 innings into the series without a runner even to third base.
Yeah, that was really tough. And again, you feel like Missouri's going to put some good quality at-bats together. And kind of not if but when those bats are going to start waking up. But when you go against Hagen Smith, that's a tough road to hoe.
I think the challenge for any team, and it may be this way for a while, you know Hagen Smith is a tall task on a Friday. It doesn't get a lot easier with Brady Tygart the next day. Different stuff, but also extremely effective and successful.
Well, you just talked about that breaking ball, and the spin rate is just off the chart. And it's one of those pitches, again, out of the hand you give up on.
Although there's a free base runner, and this is a combination worth watching today. The Tigers have been hit a ton this year, 37. And Brady has actually hit more guys than he's walked this year. He's hit 8.
That breaking ball just didn't bite on this one. If you're going to get hit by a pitch, if you're Curry, you say, I'll take that one. It was 73 miles an hour. It felt like a pillow hitting you.
Feels like some of his HBPs have been that type of situation where the hitter just can't help but just take his base. And this is Beeman, who's going to pop up a bunt. Just about, oh, it's going to land down below. It's hard to get a foul ball on those first rows. Just below the roof, under the net. Photographers trying to find it like an Easter egg hunt. We still don't know where it's at.
Got to get a kid that has some flexibility to get down there.
There we go.
There you go.
Beeman has 3 homers this year, and both last week, Troy, he had a 2-homer game and a 2-assist game.
Yeah, the 2-assist game, I think, as an outfielder is more pleasing than even the 2 home runs.
Oh, 2 to Beeman. Strike 3 called outside corner. Third strikeout for Brady Tygart. 13th by a Razorback starter this weekend.
Tygart just painted the black on the outside. Home plate umpire Danny Cricks liked that one, and really good job by Parker Rowland sticking that catch right there.
Third baseman Justin Colon in. 0 for 3 a night ago. Arkansas picked off a Tiger base runner, and it was Lovich by Hagen Smith early. I think older brother Ross had some fun with little brother Jackson for getting picked off.
He's like, how did that happen? He said, I don't know. He goes, well, you know they're going to pick.
You know, the one thing I found out about with kids playing baseball, sometimes you're communicating with them when they're young, and you're like, how did that happen? When they give you that look and they're like, I don't know, is when you just stop.
Yeah. Yeah, you're just like, okay.
All right,
anything else I say is not even going to be heard.
How'd you miss that pitch? I don't know. And you're like, all right, I think we're done.
Curry, the DH over at first base, he's yet to attempt a steal, but Tygart's giving him a lot of attention over there. He's got a pretty good lead, but I think it's almost kind of like one of those one-way leads.
Long pause before the pitch to Colon. That one almost got him on that back shoulder as well. Tigers wearing those neon yellow jerseys here this afternoon.
Almost got his bat.
Sure did. Off and running was Curry, and that one popped up towards Peyton Stovall fighting the sunshine. He'll make the catch. You're not getting a lot of help today from the clouds. Bright sunshine and a little bit of breeze, so it's kind of a deadly combination on pop-ups, but Peyton made the play.
You could see that ball just kept floating out toward the outfield, and you think it's going to land in one spot, and it just keeps carrying.
Matt Garcia, the shortstop, in. Missed a couple of weeks due to injury. I think he had a wrist problem. Takes a strike over the inside edge. He went 0 for 3 yesterday in game 1 of the series.
Hey, you really feel like Garcia is going to start heating up at the plate. Watch him during BP. He had some really nice swings.
It's been quite a journey for Garcia. An Orlando native, grew up in Puerto Rico, started at Bethune-Cookman, went to JUCO at Chipola, came back to Bethune, then came to Mizzou. It's the new era of college baseball.
He never unpacked his bags.
2 outs and 2 strikes. Off the fist, rolled foul, first base side.
It really looks like that fastball command of Brady Tygart is much better this game than his last start. And I think that makes him that much more effective when he can spot up that fastball.
Remember, he had 4 scoreless, but the last batter he faced hit a ground ball that hit the runner with the bases loaded. Had it not hit the runner, 2 would have scored. Lifted in the air to left center. The outfielders were playing very deep, but Lovich will get there to make the catch to end the inning. Leadoff hit batter. The Tiger doesn't score. Mizzou is yet to have a runner reach third base yet in the series. Well, the sights and sounds of Baumwalker Stadium on an SEC conference weekend. We love all home games, but you kind of get geared up for these league contests. Maybe a little better weather as we get towards mid-March. Dave Van Horn having a couple of words with his guys in the dugout. 22nd season as the head hog. 3-time SEC Coach of the Year, including last year when Arkansas won the SEC regular season. Would love to get that 8th College World Series appearance this year. And got a few thoughts on that coming back next inning when it comes to a pitching standpoint. And Arkansas just trying to get this offense rolling. It feels like they're getting a little bit closer every week. And Jason Jones getting his opportunity today with 3 homers on the year.
DVH still kind of tinkering with that lineup just a bit, trying to figure out who is going to solidify those couple outfield positions as well as third base.
Pimentel misses down and out. 3-0.
If there's ever a guy with green light, would be Jason Jones with the wind blowing out. We don't think he's going to get it.
Well, he would have loved to have a crack at that one. Jones with a big swing, hits it in the air down the line and right. Beeman right on the chalk, now into foul territory, makes the catch. To retire Jones with a first down. Meanwhile, for Mizzou, Carrick Jackson his first year, his dream job back at Missouri. Yesterday was the first time in the history of the SEC there was an African-American head coach. And a man maybe ready for this opportunity. Was at Memphis last year. Just had a tremendous conversation with him this week, trying to change the culture, use the phrase at times, Troy, trying to grow these guys up. As Nolan Souza bats. Of course, all Souza did yesterday was hit a pair of home runs in his first SEC game.
Yeah, that was pretty impressive by Nolan Souza. And you're right, Coach Jackson was just amazing in that interview. Really talked about, hey, he cares about the players first, and then baseball is secondary. Want to grow these, grow them up into be men.
Yeah, transition and culture, and he's talked a lot about that. Very adamant about what is important, being on time. Even dropped on us, life doesn't care about how good you are. He's tried to kind of redefine, I think, a little bit about how they see success. Obviously, we do it in wins and losses, but there are other ways, too, when you're building a program that are steps forward. Souza fouls one back. Speaking of step forward, how about Nolan Souza last night, Troy?
Yeah, really hammered that pitch down and in. We know he can take that ball the opposite way. It was really good to see the freshman get that barrel out in front and just drop the head.
We were wondering if that was maybe the last thing to come, seeing him drill balls to left center. And I listened to his interview on the radio last night, post-game, and Bubba asked him the same thing. The ability to turn on pitches, and my goodness, did he ever. He's 10 for his last 20 with 9 runs driven in his last 8 games. Here's a payoff, and he'll take that one off his back. And another base runner.
And if you're going to get hit, that's a little bit easier than the one that Peyton Stovall took. But another free base runner for the Hogs. And yesterday, it really cost Missouri. And see if they can get themselves out of this jam as well.
Well, Roslovich enjoyed his first game against his brother and against his former team. His 3-run homer in the 3rd inning turned a 2-0 Arkansas lead to 5-0. And as DVH pointed out after the game, you give his pitching staff a 3-run shot and a 5-run lead, it starts to feel like a huge advantage Arkansas in the game. Like, just try and catch us now.
Yeah, it's really tough. Again, you had Hagen Smith coming out, threw awesome, and then Christian Fouch came in, looked impressive, and then Cooper Dossett kind of polished things off. So the pitching staff for Arkansas was spot on last night.
Lovich fouls one right back to the screen. Younger brother Eli, who's also an Arkansas commit, I think he had a game last night, so he's expected to be here tomorrow. The rest of the family members have been here. They had the split jerseys, Arkansas on one side, Mizzou on another, a Tiger logo, a Hog logo. Probably family members on both pass lists if they had to kind of allocate it differently.
Yeah, poor Eli. I think he got forgotten about yesterday.
I think so too.
We're gonna go watch the SEC opener.
I'm not sure if there was any family member there watching him at his high school game, but there's the Lovich brothers. Jackson off to a really good start his second season. They say Eli might be the best. Arkansas would love that to be the case.
If he is, that's a pretty talented kid, because both Ross and Jackson can hold their weight with anyone. It's a little unusual, the first base, the way that Jackson Lovich is holding the runner on over there.
You don't suppose brother would hit a line drive right at him, would you?
might wake him up over there a little bit. Tell you, when you're playing first base and you got a lefty up, it just feels like they're standing on top of you. See him really off that first base. Souza with a deep lead, and going back into the base in that back corner.
Chopper back to the mound, and out at second, back to first. Double play, a 1-6-3. DP ends the second, so a hit batter, but only 3 bat. We go to the third, still zeros up on the scoreboard for Game 2 of the series.
It begins with the flicker of an idea. And when that idea happens, in a place made for creative, collaborative thinkers, that idea can transform you.
When I was younger, I played make-believe. Now when I close my eyes, I just fall asleep. Dream on, to infinity and far beyond. Maybe they'll take you fabulous places. Maybe you'll wake up right where you belong. But dream on.
SEC news and notes. How about Mississippi State taking down number 2 LSU, and more on that in a second. But Troy, Texas A&M, their first loss of the year. I think we had that score wrong late last night.
Yeah, I think so. I think we had it backwards. Florida with those 5 home runs. Only 8 runs scored on 5 home runs. A lot of solo shots. But how about Charlie Condon? Why? I'm just curious of why anybody wants him to throw him a strike.
How about a 2,000 OPS?
It's absurd.
Jadier Hernandez will lead off the 3rd inning against Tygart. That was outside for a ball. Remember when Hagen had his big numbers yesterday, I was talking about the fact he is pretty much tied with Luke Holman in a lot of categories. As good as Hagen has been, Holman equally as good. Maybe not so yesterday. He allowed 10 hits, 5 runs, only 2 earned in 4 2/3 innings as LSU lost. Tennessee's won 17 straight games. How about Vandy run ruling Auburn in 8, 11-1? Auburn had the first run of the game, and then the last 11 went to the doors.
Yeah, that's an Auburn team that's ranked in the top 25. They're no slouch, but the doors just clubbed them. And Luke Holman, he was a transfer from Alabama, right?
That's right.
That was a huge get for LSU.
There's no doubt about that. Jay Johnson told me earlier this year he put the same effort into Holman as he did Skeens.
That's a lot of effort.
Well, yeah, that's a lot. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Hernandez. Had one of the 4 hits for Mizzou yesterday. Again, his mother cousins with the famous catching Molina brothers. Benji, Yadi, Jose. Wave and a miss.
At the bottom falling out of that breaking ball by Brady Tygart. That's the one that starts about waist high, and it looks like a strike, and then it just disappears out of the zone. And see Parker Rowland barely catches that ball but before it hits the dirt.
You know, Arkansas's pitchers continue to put up amazing numbers. As Caden Pierre will bat the 9-hole hitter. Troy, there was a nice article done on Hogbeat this week, and they just went back and looked at some of the past College World Series teams. Even last year, the top 3 teams nationally in earned run average, Wake, Tennessee, Virginia, all made it to Omaha. And then Oral Roberts, the team we saw this week, they were actually 7th. So maybe it shouldn't have been a surprise that they were one of the 8 teams at the College World Series. And even LSU, you don't hear their name in there, but of course they had Paul Skeens. As Pierre will pop one up. A play for Rowland. No problem. 2 outs. And Arkansas starters, well, this is a formidable weekend trio.
Yeah, those guys, that's about as good as it gets in the country. Wake Forest has got a great lineup. A&M's got some brilliant starters, but boy, that's tough when you see those guys penciled in near the opponent.
Back to the top of the lineup, Brock Daniels. I think you go back the last 15 years, 9 of the 14 national champions have finished in the top 20-25 here in the country in team earned run average. In Arkansas, I think they came in 3rd. Of course, one of the teams ahead of them was A&M, who got hit around a little bit last night, and who knows what the conference will look like for the Aggies, but that man's got himself a good staff. And Troy, there's even a couple of guys getting closer to coming back.
Yeah, there's some big arms. Ben Bybee returning from a season ago, and a freshman, Hunter Dietz, is going to start throwing just a little bit more, and you might see him in about a week or two. And he goes 6'6", 230, left-hander with some electric stuff.
These last couple of years, it's felt like Arkansas has lost a key arm early. Of course, Wiggins or Paulette, and you lose somebody like Dylan Carter. This year, it'd be nice to get a few guys back.
Yeah, it'd be a different change of pace for Arkansas for sure.
Brady Tygart misses down and in to Daniels. Tygart trying to put forth 3 scoreless innings. I think Rowland forgot the pitch count. There he goes. He's got it on that shin guard. He's inputting a lot of data. Payoff pitch, breaking ball, strike 3. 5 Ks through 3 innings for Brady Tygart. 3 hitless and scoreless frames.
Boy, this is a pitch again. As a hitter, you just give up on it when it's out of the pitcher's hand. You don't think there's any way that thing's going to drop in the zone, and there the bottom falls out.
Lefty-lefty matchup. And that one carries off the plate.
See if Stovall can have a really tight strike zone right here. You want to split that zone in half and pick whichever half you want, but if it's in the other half, just take it.
Good pitch. Front door breaking ball.
Nice job by Pimentel not giving up and giving in on a 2-0 pitch.
Wave and a miss. That 88 felt a little bit firmer.
Kind of got that cross-body action, does Pimentel, so that pitch kind of starts behind those left-handed batters.
Fouled back and out of play. Haven't seen a lot of shifting by the Tigers. They've been deep in their outfield. That came up under the chin of Stovall for ball 3.
That was a changeup that just got away from Pimentel. Only 77 miles an hour, so definitely wasn't throwing at him.
We've had a handful of HBPs on some pitches that have just not quite had the snapper break. There's a bounce at a first. Lovich has got it. He'll win the race. And there's 2 outs. Two gone for Aloy. We got our Hawaiian battle again. Did you ever think we'd be talking about this many Hawaiians, a Hawaiian double play combination, and pitchers and hitters and whatnot?
And no, not at all. It's I tell you what, there's a lot of talent over there, and I had the pleasure to go over and play in Hawaii my sophomore year, so that was pretty cool.
Wehiwa struck out looking his only time in. Never gets cheated on that swing. He came in as the guy we were talking about more so than Nolan Souza, but Souza's had this incredible stretch. There's a big chopper to second for Austin. He's got it. A couple of feet back on the outfield grass. He'll throw out Aloy to end the inning. So the Razorbacks go in order. 3 scoreless so far today from Baum Walker. We go to the 4th inning, no score, Missouri and Arkansas. There's Blums everywhere. This is Jeff Blum, Astros TV, former Astro player, White Sox, Expo, Padre.
Take your pick.
Take your pick. You were here with us last year for the home opener against Grambling, and it was your first opportunity to be here at Baum Walker. I wanted to get you back for a weekend series, a conference series. In my mind, I envision 80 degrees, but we got you here last night and today. Just tell me your thoughts on walking around Baum Walker and soaking this up.
This has actually been an incredible trip because there is a person in faculty here that I found out about last year during a regional when I was watching. His name's Dan Trump, and he works, under Hunter Urchek. So he gave me the full rundown of what's happening here with Arkansas baseball, and I was absolutely blown away with the facility here, with the development center, and then being here with the weather and everything. But last year, like you said, Grambling State's a different animal. That was
right.
That was
got
about
your feet wet.
That was 50 degrees, and there were still 9,000 fans in the seats. But here, you've got the SEC opening weekend, and after calling some of those College Classic games down in Minute Maid Park, which you were doing as well, you kind of get a feel for what's about to happen. But to be here and be in the midst of it, nothing compares. Personally, having grown up in the Pac-12 or Pac-10, conference, nothing compares to what the SEC brings. This is a gauntlet like I've never seen.
It's something else as Austin singles, and you got a chance to go in the development center the other day. I mean, it's hard not to be blown away, right?
It really is, and I had an anticipation because my brother Greg played here in 1999 and 2000, and he's actually toured a bit of the facility and been around a little bit. But until you get your eyes on it and understand what Coach Van Horn has done here, not just to have the ability to build something like that, but to actually make it baseball functional, I mean, this is a place where I can't imagine any of these players want to leave. Between the nutrition, between the weight room, the facility as far as the training room, I can't imagine having the ability to have a trainer or a strength conditioning coordinator at my fingertips and have a facility like that all day long. It'd be unbelievable.
Troy, we were talking about Hunter Bell, the strength and conditioning coach, earlier today, and how these guys come in, they look like pencils, they look like 18-year-olds. 2.5 years later, they look like, future big leaguers with their body frame.
And not even that long, I think. They have really putting on some muscle, and he is an elite strength coach. But yeah, you're right. Even during COVID, some of the guys said, I literally don't even have to leave. I just go home to go to sleep.
Mm-hmm. Well, and how about, in talking to the coaches over there, I got to meet Ken Thompson, I believe.
Nate Thompson, yeah.
He was talking about the fact that even with, you get some crazy weather up here like we do down in Houston, you're not going to miss a beat being able to get your work in, whether it's at the batting tunnels here at the development center or you go across the street to that facility over there. So that's the other thing. And I think now with the minor league baseball's situation being shrunk.
Yep.
You know, every team has eliminated so many teams and so many opportunities that why wouldn't you make a choice to come to a place like Arkansas and get top-of-the-line training, get top-of-the-line strength?
There's a liner to short. Going to be an easy double play as Aloy flips back to first to double off Austin.
And then be able to just get your work in and develop the technology that they have in the tunnels in there for pitchers is big league level type technology. And these guys are going to be better. And how else do you get a guy from Hawaii or a couple of guys from Hawaii to come to Arkansas?
First of all, you tell them that it's really nice in February and March, and you lie to them. But once they get here and they get into it, but I'm with you. And, you know, I went over and talked to the Missouri catcher, Jadier Hernandez, before the game. His mom's cousins are the Molina brothers, Yadi, Benji, Jose. And, you know, so he's been around it a lot, as have you. And he told me, he goes, I can't believe this place. He goes, and I said, you know, there are conference games where there's more people. And he goes, how? I'm like, well, there's an empty seat here, and there's one there. There won't be for LSU when they come in a few weeks.
Yeah, it's actually that I'm tempted to come up because a couple of our games against that opening weekend got picked up Friday, Saturday.
Oh, that's right.
So the temptation to fly into Bentonville real quick to catch some of that action would be great.
You're one of the few that spring breaks away from spring training, and I get it. I appreciate it. More baseball for you, but your rare break between Astros spring training and regular season games, which will start soon enough.
No, but I love the atmosphere. I mean, it's amazing that, you know, you can say that a baseball team in collegiate baseball is getting this much attention.
You know, even some of our viewership last year for some of the conference games, Tennessee, there was 80, 90,000 people tuning in over the course of a game, which is a little bit unlike the rest of the world.
Well, you know, the ongoing theory is that D1 baseball like this caliber, you know, in some of those Power 5 conferences is comparable to AA, if not better, with some of these players. And having hung around the Astros long enough and understanding how they draft and develop players, and now talking to the current GM of the Astros, Dana Brown, thought he might have gotten him right there.
I do too.
Is that the fact that they're trying to develop these players and get them to the big leagues as quickly as possible, and why not have a young man who's been working out here at this facility, get him, sign him, draft him at 21, and just push him through the system and get him to produce at the big league level. They're not that far away playing here.
I'd like to get you together with Coach Hobbs. He's a Californian guy, and he's amazing. You know, Booney just about took him to the Yankees a few years ago, and his ability to kind of work through the technology, you have to have somebody that can understand it and relay it. But speaking of that and speaking of the Astros, how much would you like to take Hagen Smith back?
Oh my gosh! So everything I saw was, you know, on video and what we saw up in Arlington when he struck out 17, and then to be able to watch him in person in that first inning, actually watch the ball the way it comes out of his hand, the ball absolutely jumps out of the hand, and then watching some of those sliders, and, you know, no offense to anybody who has a kid playing for the University of Missouri.
No offense, Tigers.
Some of those swings that I saw kind of explain the fact that how good the swing or how good the pitching was. But, yeah, I think that the more we watch Hagen Smith, the more he might be that 1-1 coming out of college.
Well, he could be close. And you think about this as Beeman bats. 5 starts, 50 strikeouts, and one of his start went 1 inning.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that.
It was 35 degrees, so you got to give him a little bit.
I was going to say
credit for that.
We actually give him credit for being smarter than maybe we think he is because he got out of that start.
That's just outside. I think Parker Rowland wanted strike 3, but a little bit out.
I like the kind of the mix-up, you know, I mean, the change-up and putting Tygart out there in between Hagen Smith and who they got going on Sunday because he's a little more finesse, work the edges.
Tell you what, he's going to make a lot of money too.
Yeah.
2 balls, 2 strikes. And the pitch from Tygart is a check swing. So the count has gone full now to Beeman.
Yeah, I would imagine you don't see too many breaking balls like that throughout Division I. Spin rates off the charts.
It's got a parachute when it comes in, doesn't it?
It kind of hits the brakes and just breaks down out of the zone.
Curry will be off and running on the payoff pitch. Tygart going for strikeout number 6, and he will issue back-to-back walks. So after that line-out double play, he's walked Curry and Beeman. Tigers have yet to get a runner to third base in this series, but they're getting a little bit closer.
Yeah, that seems like it's Brady Tygart's only Achilles heel so far this season is just scuffling just a bit with that command, but the stuff is definitely next level.
You got your 2 daughters with you, but there's also another daughter down working.
I know.
As the the Diamond Girl, correct? Have I got the right terminology?
Diamond
Troy?
Doll.
Diamond
Diamond
Doll.
Doll.
Yeah.
And Mia was up here with us last year in the booth when you and your wife Corey stopped by.
Yep.
We got another Blum.
She's going to be so mad that I didn't text her and tell her that she's going to be on TV. But
Well,
yeah,
she knew to smile. She knew the camera was on it.
Yeah, she was super excited. She didn't go into the sorority type situation last year. She kind of was looking for something to do around the game, and she understood that Arkansas baseball is pretty good, and the games are fun to watch. And obviously, the fan interaction that she gets being a Diamond Doll kind of encouraged her to go out there. So I think it's awesome that she's able to put herself out there.
Right.
There was a little bit of a situation last night.
The
with
ball
that-
ricocheted in.
Yeah,
right?
it ricocheted in, and fortunately, I think she's told the girl, "Hey, you pick it up. I'm not touching it."
She gets a pretty good seat too for the game. That's
That's
not
another.
bad.
That's actually a really good point.
You're on the field
Yes.
behind a screen, which was good.
Yeah, you're getting to see like very good baseball up close and personal.
You know, sometimes you might say, I wonder how much baseball those young ladies know. Does she ever drop, well, you know, my dad played X number of years in the big leagues. Does she ever incorporate that in just to kind of get a one-upsmanship over someone else?
I'm sure if she gets cornered, that might be the opportunity to throw that out there. Well, you know.
I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. But that's what's kind of cool about, you know, the girls being around the game and, you know, having moved to Houston and having the job that I have. They go to plenty of baseball. They have somebody they can ask the question of. And they do know the game pretty well.
That's another walk. So, well, actually, it's ball 3. Thought the scoreboard might have been off, but that's ball 3. So now the fans will be all over Justin Colon. And it'll get this crowd engaged just a bit. Every once in a while, they need some confrontation. They need something
Yeah.
to.
Well, I thought there'd already be that initially with having Missouri in here. Nothing like starting with your rival right out of the chute in the SEC. But yeah, there's four balls to get a walk here in the.
That hasn't changed, even in the college
even
game.
in D1. Yeah.
Maybe sometimes it feels like we need 5 in the college game rather than 3. Colon flew out to center his only time in, fouls that one back. So now we've gone full, and the runners will be able to take off on the payoff. And that pitch count leaking a bit north from Tygart at 63.
I have a feeling Brady's going to drop a breaking ball right here. It seems like the fastball's lost him just a bit.
Curry at second, Beeman at first, ready to go. Here's the pitch, and it's fouled back. Came with a fastball and got it in on the hands.
Well, now you got a good time to throw that breaking ball.
Yep,
Sped
he's
him up
got
with
it-
2 pitches.
got
Now
him
you
set
slow
up.
things down. Yeah.
The thing for Tygart is you got to start that one up over their head because it drops so much.
Right.
Get it in the zone.
Yeah. When you're spinning at 27, 28 on your spin rate.
Former closer turned starter Tygart trying to get out of this 4th inning, keep this game scoreless. There's the breaking ball, and he didn't quite get the snap. And, you know, he came in having walked 7 guys all year in 20 innings. He's walked 3 in a row. Now Matt Hobbs will make a visit to the mound, and we'll talk more about Coach Hobbs later on. But, of course, the pitching coach for Missouri was his head coach. Also the guy that hired him to be on staff. He was on staff with Carrick Jackson, who is now the head coach at Missouri. So there's enough connections between these two teams to last for a long time.
Put all those puzzle pieces together, Brett. That's nicely done. This is Matt Hobbs just trying to settle his right-hander down, just saying, hey, you've got this. And it's one of those conversations, Jeff, you just kind of go, okay, once you strike this guy out, then we'll
Yes.
come back to the dugout.
Yeah, we'll regroup after this, but make sure you make quality pitches and bear down right here because I don't want to have to leave the booth if they score. I'm not going to be responsible for that.
Well, we might keep you anyhow. There's Tim Jamison, the pitching coach, former Mizzou head coach. But now we'll see if Brady can find a way to retire Matt Garcia. So he's kind of lost that control and the command of that breaking pitch, and now trying to find it again with a fastball.
Now, this is where you got to get in the zone and trust that defense behind you to track it down or make that play on the ground.
Soft little dribbler. That's a foul ball. Might have hit the foot of Garcia on its way to McLaughlin. Arkansas was hoping for the quick out, but a foul ball instead. These Mizzou uniforms look a little bit like the old Pirates, don't they?
Oof. Yeah.
Well, he got the inside of that leg.
I thought Missouri stole that look from the ushers here at Baum Walker Stadium. I can say things you guys can't.
They can help you find your seat in addition to playing some baseball. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. There they are.
Hey!
He's going to bat
seriously. What
9th in the lineup for the Tigers.
Pinch hit in the 9th?
This crowd might erupt if Tiger gets the
there
K,
you go.
and he just missed.
Man,
well, they erupted all right. I tell you what, TrackMan has changed the college strike zone in addition to the big leagues.
Yeah, I think it's actually a good thing too. But you really wished it would kind of translate behind the plate because that was an excellent pitch in a key situation.
And there's a liner caught by Aloy. How about that positioning to end the inning?
Well, it doesn't hurt to have a 6'2" shortstop, and I think he used every bit of that.
Well, the Tigers leave the bases loaded. They get a chance to get their first runs. Wehiwa. Well, mahalo, Wehiwa Aloy, for making that catch. Left him loaded in the top of the 4th inning. Still a 0-0 game as we go to the bottom of the frame. Diggs, Holt, and McLaughlin batting against Javen Pimental. And Jeff Blum from Astros TV and his family up here joining us for a little bit longer in the game, talking some ball as Diggs steps in. Homered yesterday. And takes one down from the lefty for ball 1. Ball was jumping yesterday, wasn't it?
Yesterday was launch mode. And I mean, not cheapies either. You know, that first one that Souza hit, an absolute laser out, and then everybody tried to, test the integrity of that development center out there. It was unreal.
Got to reinforce that roof, don't they?
Honestly, or you got to put somebody up there to shag because some of those bombs were going well up on top of that roof.
It is amazing how the college game has changed over the last decade, more resembling what you see at the big league level. It's hard against SEC pitchers to string together 6 or 7 hits. You need base runners and you need somebody who can launch.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, and it's kind of funny you say that because I was thinking about that last night. When I started my broadcast career, it was part-time with the Astros, part-time with the Pac-12 networks.
Maybe a play here for Cologne. Never a certainty about a pop-up, but he'll make the catch.
True, especially on days like this without a cloud in the sky. But it was interesting to watch. You had your 5-hole hitter was bunting for the 6 and 7 guys to score the runner on a base hit possibly. But like you said, Brett, now you've got guys in the top of your lineup. You can have a little more structured lineup where you say, get on base. We got a thumper in the middle that might drive the ball out, or if he gets on base, then we'll just string together some hits. But what I like about Arkansas, and you guys have seen this longer than I have, is what I'm witnessing is these are great at bats. I mean, they ramp up pinch counts against these starters until they find a way to break through and get mistakes up out over the plate. And when they do get those mistakes, they're not missing any of them.
Kind of comes back to understanding the strike zone with TrackMan, doesn't it?
100%. And that goes to the technology and the development that they have here at Arkansas is that you can understand, when you're in a sim game, you can look at the screen and say, okay, I felt like that was a ball. Was it? And then you can reinforce that positive thought and then continue to build that idea of what the strike zone is. And then you can pick your spots, pick your pitches. But it was fun to watch them last night kind of feel their way through the first time through the order, and then they went to smashing that second time through the order because they can anticipate a little bit more.
You saw a guy like Yuli Gurriel come into the Astros as a free swinger, a guy who didn't take many walks. And then there was this comprehension of you've got to learn the strike zone. You've got to be able to understand what to swing at, what to take. And, a couple of years later, guys winning a batting title, as Holt will K here for the second out in the 4th inning. And it's hard for a free swinger to kind of adapt and learn, but these kids are learning it at an earlier age before they can get to the minors.
Yeah, I think like all of us, we're watching big league games because this is where these guys want to be, is in the show. How do I do that? Pitching side, you got to prove you're durable enough to pitch and show up every 5 days. On the offensive side, you've got to be able to handle that strike zone because you're watching guys like Alex Bregman, Kyle Tucker, at least at our on a daily basis for us, where they really control that strike zone. Shoot, Yordan Alvarez, he's a 6'5" Adonis, and every time he makes contact, it's 112 off the bat. But now that he has an idea of what the strike zone is, it forces the pitchers to make better pitches, and if they don't, they're going to take advantage of some of those mistakes. But I'm impressed with young hitters because you know as well as I do, having played the game, you get to a 2-0, 3-1, I'm swinging at the next pitch no matter where this thing is, and I'm going to try and hit it 900 feet. These guys, they're going, if it's not my happy spot, I'm going to take the walk, and I'm going to go to first base and let my buddy behind me pick me up.
Yeah, I think that's just the confidence in the whole lineup.
Yeah.
Is, hey, there's guys behind me that can get it done. But just, Jeff talking about, the facilities here and how the level that SEC is as far as quality, think about just the percentage of guys in the big leagues that were college players. It's almost getting pushing 50% or just a tick below that.
I would imagine that number is going to continue to grow.
I think so.
Yeah, because you're talking again about how quickly can it get to the big leagues, and at a 21-year-old or a 20-year-old that comes out of a collegiate system like an SEC school, specifically Arkansas, you've already been exposed to the data, the analytics, the work ethic to be able to go out there and produce, and like you guys are talking about, the idea of what the strike zone is, so they'll speed up into the big leagues quicker.
McLaughlin, a soft line out. Hey, nothing has come across through 4 innings. We'll keep Jeff for a little longer as we go to the 5th here at Baum Walker.
It begins with the flicker of an idea. And when that idea happens, in a place made for creative, collaborative thinkers, that idea can transform you.
When are sports more than sports? When your highlight reel opens the door to 4 years of higher education, 0 student loan debt, and NIL earning potential. When your stats include free room and board, nutrition and mental health support, plus medical care with extended coverage. And when your experiences, friendships, and development put you in the win column for life. For college athletes, sports just mean more.
Oh, beautiful Baum Walker on a Saturday afternoon. Temperatures climbing up into the mid-60s, and the Tigers and the Razorbacks looking for the game's first run. A lot of upsets around college baseball in Miami. They've been playing well under a new head coach. Texas lost at home to the Washington Huskies. Virginia took down Wake. Arkansas blanked Missouri yesterday, and Brady Tygart back to work. And, college baseball's never been older, still trying to get through the college COVID years, and I don't know how many true upsets there are or just more parity as Hernandez waves and misses to begin this 5th inning. But the talent level, Jeff, as we've been talking about off and on, I think has never been at a better level. I'm curious, you guys combined for 3 College World Series in this booth. You played 1 in Cal. 2
I've only got a third
Arkansas.
of that.
Yeah, you've only got third, but you did have some World Series.
He's got me trumped by that.
You got a handful of rings for a variety of purposes. That doesn't hurt. I'm curious what the velocity was like you would face on the weekends, with some of the pitchers. If maybe you'd see a handful of 92s, 93s, or once you got into the bullpen, if it was 88, 89.
No, it was sinker slider back in the day, and I know that I remember vividly my freshman year going into Sunken Diamond at Stanford. I played at Cal. And, outside of being, the hyped up idea of that rivalry is there was a guy on the mound just pumping heaters at the top of the zone at 94, 95 miles an hour, and it was Rick Helling.
Yeah.
And he had a pretty extensive big league career as a pitcher, but that was the first time I've actually seen a 4-seam fastball that absolutely destroyed me at 18. And, I just started switch hitting, and he threw one that I swear ricocheted off my top thumb knuckle and landed about 4 feet behind him for a base hit. And I'm standing there trying to play it off like, man, that was a rocket to center, right, guys? And I could just feel my entire heartbeat in my left hand. But that was kind of that introduction to the D1 level. But there weren't too many. The Saturday guy would be 90 to 92, and then you face the Sunday guy that would be lefty flipping curveballs in there at 73 miles an hour. So. But it was kind of cool to see the speed of it and then having to make the adjustment as a hitter throughout the weekend. But, guys coming into close weren't throwing 100 miles an hour.
Well, yesterday Fouch was throwing 97 with a splitty.
That thing.
We didn't see Gackel, by the way, was throwing 98. Dietz, who they tell us is going to be, a big leaguer at some points trying to get back. He's an 18-year-old kid that we haven't seen yet. So, these are 18-year-old kids doing that.
And by the way, Dietz is 6'6", 230, so it's just
coming downhill, creating an angle you can't
ridiculous.
Get to. Yeah, I just don't. I mean, you guys have. I know, Brett, you've called a lot of perfect game and seen a lot of the below amateur down in high school and coming up. This era of radar guns. It began with the radar gun. Now you've got the spin numbers. Now you've got all the analytics that go with it. And I feel like the idea of max effort is great, but it creates a different torque on that elbow.
There's no doubt.
There was a great article in The Athletic talking about, is it the velocity? Is it the spin? But I think it's, they kind of came to the conclusion it's a combination of how hard they grip that baseball and how hard they have the arm going through the delivery is what kind of creates that excessive, pressure on that elbow. But no, nobody was max effort. I grew up in the era of Greg Maddux where it was, paint the corners, keep them off balance. But now everybody's they can hurl it at, 100 miles an hour.
Brock Daniels, who's been strikeout victim twice, will take his HBP. I've got that article right in front of me. I've been waiting to talk to Coach Hobbs about it. He's had the flu and other things that have kept me from him, but I'm with you. And, you struck out twice, though. You'll take that every day of the week if you're Brock Daniels.
I tell you what, you could hit me with 100 miles an hour on an 0-2 count after 2 strikeouts, and I'd be like, man, that felt great.
Who was the guy in the big leagues that terrorized you the most?
Kevin Brown.
Well, he was nasty, wasn't he?
Kevin Brown, he was angry, too. I don't know what. He was just grumpy, man. But he would go out there in, Altuve's jersey, and he's 6'4", 250 pounds, ripped out of his mind. It looked like he was going to explode out of his shirt. And I came to the plate, and I felt like he was picking on me half the time because he'd throw 93-mile-an-hour split fingers. It would dive into the zone for strikes. And I was like, I did not have an answer for him.
He wanted to hurt your feelings.
Every time I stepped in. I think I was 2 for 25 off that guy. I would rather face Randy Johnson than Kevin Brown.
Ooh.
Yeah, there's some good ones back in the day.
That's why you switch hit, right? So you didn't have to.
100%.
Yeah, just turn around and face those guys.
And getting back to collegiate baseball, it's a great place to kind of explore who you're going to be as a player. And that's why, I encourage – I know that, the money and getting to the big leagues and playing professionally, there's a certain appeal to that. But if you have some development to be able to make at 18 years old and you can go into a collegiate level and test yourself like I did at trying to switch hit at 18 years old, that translated into a big league career because if I didn't know how to hit left-handed or for both sides of the plate eventually – I probably wouldn't have had the career. I would have gotten opportunities, but hitting left-handed just opened up a whole other realm of opportunities for me.
No, I bet it did. Playing multiple positions on the infield or whatnot, being able to switch hit certainly helped make a long career as Austin waves and misses. Then we translated him, Troy, into the TV booth, so we threw him to the other side of the baseball spectrum right there.
That's right. I hit so well and I field so well up here in the booth, Jeff, and I don't know about you, but it's
the anticipation so much better.
Exactly.
Tygart will miss downstairs, so he has put on a couple of 2-out base runners again this inning for Jackson Lovich.
He's kind of created his own traffic, hasn't he?
Yeah, that pitch count now I think is at that number where Coach Van Horn will go get Brady, try to give him a chance to get through this 5th inning. Didn't happen, so we'll step aside, take a pitching change break. Tigers trying to get on the board for the first time in the series. Will McEntire coming into the game. Back in a moment. Well, Troy, Brady Tygart gave up just 1 hit through 4 2/3 innings. So the one thing he fought today was just his command and control at times.
Yeah, you can tell the stuff is just next level. It's elite pitches, with that spin rate, with that breaking ball. But again, the command just kind of eluded him just enough, and that's what brought in Will McEntire. You're going to see McEntire, a big-time strike thrower and a guy that just throws over 50% cutters. And Jeff, you're going to see a cutter that's got a lot of depth to it.
Yeah, I love the fact that these guys are able to go out there and kind of find a way to go get it. But you talk about command. There's not much command issue right there with 22 strikeouts to 2 walks.
It feels like the one thing that Mizzou can do to kind of get an opportunity to win this game is take advantage of free base runners. So I think DVH wants to limit that as best he can and wait for this offense to get it going.
Well, I think that's probably why Van Horn's going to a guy like McEntire right here, because he is going to throw strikes. Because defensively, you get a little bit on your heels when a guy's not being able to find the strike zone. So these guys will probably be on their toes waiting for a ball right here.
Lovich had some quality at bats yesterday against Hagen. He takes that fastball down and out for ball 1.
Jeff McEntire is kind of one of those unusual guys that he almost likes to throw twice on a weekend. So you don't get those very often.
There you go. No, but that's it. You have to, guys are going to have that mentality ingrained in them, but you can also develop that too. Because if they do enjoy pitching and they can make it out for 2 times on a weekend, that speaks volumes about their ability.
Fouled back to the screen, and you know this, in the big leagues, we watched the event at Minute Maid where we had 20 pitchers, by the way, in the last game in 11 innings.
Congrats.
And there was no, and I'm working with Brian Bogusevic, and he's like, "Where's the 3-batter minimum?" Because you guys get ingrained in that. Well, but the circle of trust here is about 8 pitchers, and then it gets down to 7, down to 6.
That was one of the funniest conversations I had with Jay Johnson of the LSU Tigers. He's like, "I'm not afraid. Mid-inning change, I'm doing it."
Wave and a miss. There's the cutter. There's
Beautiful.
the strikeout. We'll keep Jeff for one more half inning. Tigers strand 2 more. Still a 0-0 game on a Saturday here at Bob Walker.
Hey, look at the difference of Game 1 and Game 2 for the Hogs. They have not been able to figure out Pimentel so far, and a guy that can really put bat to the ball and have some big-time exit velocity, Jeff, is Jason Jones.
Yeah, they've got some guys that can, swing the pipe through the zone, but it's almost as if the Tigers are kind of just throwing underneath that hitting speed that the Razorbacks are accustomed to. Because it felt like there were some mistake fastballs yesterday that they were able to get to and launch. But at the same time, I mean, they've got that pitch count up almost to, 68, 70. So you're kind of hoping that you can wait them out and get some mistakes up. But, yeah, I think that slurve has kind of kept them a little bit off balance, trying to create an angle to it.
Hard hit to third. Scoop by Cologne. Pops up, flips to first in time. 1 out. So
that their defense is making plays today.
Which they didn't yesterday.
No.
Troy, I got to tell you my favorite Jeff Blum story. It's hard to kind of narrow it down, right? I mean, because there are so many.
I'm comfortable because this one's actually TV friendly.
Okay.
That's true.
This
I got a headset
in the top
on.
10, right? Okay.
No, it's a good point. So I forget what year. He was an Astro, and we played the Cubs in a series at home. So when the games would go extra innings, we got to the point where they would finally trust us to call the extra innings over our Hall of Fame broadcaster, who was, he was 80-plus years old, and he kind of liked to have it. Well, so lo and behold, they turn it to me.
Say.
Jeff comes up. I think it's ball down the right field line. He wins the game in extra innings. He's the hero. I get to call it. So now immediately I'm the bad guy. Right? It's my fault that he got the game-winning hit.
I put you in that position.
You put me in a terrible spot. So we get to the next day, the very next freaking day, same team, extra innings. I'm calling it again. He does it again. Back-to-back days, walk-off hits. Both days I called it, and now I am in the doghouse. I mean, I have to.
You're going to be lucky if you get an inning.
That's right.
They'd be picking up trash in the parking lot after that.
Oh, man, no doubt. He's going to wrap up all the equipment, the headsets.
After the second game, he's got a briefcase that's older than me. It's 40-some years old. He puts the stuff in the briefcase, closes it up, and he's out the door before Jeff is even back in the dugout. And now I've got the whole postgame to myself because, again, my fault that he got the walk-off hits. My partner's down in the dugout, probably ready to interview Jeff for $50. And and then he goes, he's not there, is he? He's gone. He can tell that he's not there. He knows that he's already left.
The presence is left.
Because he can sense it. And he knows it's my fault, too. And all because of the man to my right. As Sousa waves and misses.
I do what I can to help out the cause.
That put me in a bind.
I apologize for that. And you know what's funny? If he would have told me that story when I was playing, I wouldn't have believed him. But having been in the booth now for the last 11, 12 years and kind of seeing the underbelly of what is actually happening on this level, I now...
Sometimes it's not pretty, right?
Yeah, I was like, man, I had no idea. But it's resounding.
Underbelly's a good word, too.
Yeah.
As Lovich bats with the bases empty and 2 outs.
There's a sweeping slider that we talked about earlier, Jeff, that Pimentel is really keeping these Razorbacks off balance.
No, I completely agree, and I it's kind of interesting to see so many left-handed hitters in this lineup too for Coach Van Horn. But just that little bit of a slurve, everybody talks about the sweepers these days, but when you can't figure out an angle to a breaking pitch, it makes it real tough.
By the way, Arkansas doesn't have a hit. We've had 1 hit in this game. Uh-oh. Little flare, reverse jinx. There's your first hit.
See, you just jinx everybody, Brad. All kinds of
That's my
problems.
fault. I say no, and that's my
you're just talking about how it is your fault.
That's right.
You're the reason we have a hit now.
Pimentel doesn't like it.
You're going to have to go apologize to Pimentel for that one. Just a little jam shot right here, and that's when you wish you had a wood bat. That's like a little blooper to the shortstop, right, Jeff?
Exactly, yeah. You were broken the bat, deadened it enough to the shortstop to make the play. But there's so much grace in that aluminum bat that you end up with the base hit. Hopefully that kind of opens things up for the Razorbacks. Can I be incredibly biased on this broadcast?
Well, you know. Logan Forsythe sat in for a game for Troy. And Logan was dropping a lot of wheeze, and our producer, they were working on him through 3 innings. It was a learning process.
I haven't even played here, and I'm dropping wheeze. But it might be because of 3 tuitions.
that makes you a wee automatically, right?
3 tuitions.
I'm waiting for my name across, right under Max Bases Loaded Landing out there. You'd only have to change 1 letter in the scoreboard to get my name up there.
There you go. There's a high fly in the air to left center, and this should end the inning. And Will, hey, Jeff, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me on. Always good seeing you guys. I appreciate the hospitality.
Appreciate it.
Indeed. Jeff Blum, there he goes. 5 scoreless. Arkansas and Mizzou here by one. No score as we go to the 6th inning. Just 1 hit for the Tigers and the Razorbacks. So hard to believe this one has not seen a run yet. But again, we've had some traffic for the Tigers with some free base runners, and now McEntire trying to settle things down.
Yeah, he's just kind of calming force out there on the mound. And Mr. Steady Eddie, he's going to fill up that strike zone, pitch to contact. And tell you what, you feel like this game with the wind blowing out just a hair, there might be one big swing that kind of turns things around.
I think you do have that feeling. Sometimes you get in these 0-0 games when the wind is howling in. You feel like it's hitter-friendly conditions today, but the pitchers have been a little bit better. Curry's been on base twice without an official at bat. Walk and a hit by pitch. Cleanup hitter leading off this 6th inning, facing McEntire on a relief of Tygart. Always enjoy talking with Jeff. You can tell he does this for a living at the big league level.
Yeah, he's definitely got a personality plus.
1-1 from McEntire. A strike called even though Roldan didn't catch it cleanly.
Sometimes you don't get that borderline strike when the catcher doesn't come up with it.
Strike 3 call. So the strikeouts keep racking up.
Curry didn't like that one. McEntire just spotted that one. You can tell Parker Rowland kind of pulled that one back in just a bit.
Tygart struck out 7. McEntire has struck out both of the hitters he's faced. So that is 9 one night after the Tigers struck out 12. Remember what we said yesterday, Troy, that Missouri's hitters had struck out more than anybody else in the SEC, going up against a pitching staff that records crazy numbers.
Yeah, you're right. But again, you get a bloop and a blast, and that really doesn't matter how many times you swing through some pitches. But this Arkansas pitching staff has just been top-notch for sure.
McEntire just pumping again. The ability to land that cutter for a called strike rather than just a swing and a miss pitch is one that impresses me.
Well, then he can go just a little bit more off the plate and get that swing and miss with 2 strikes.
Ground ball to third. Holt will back up, has to twist and fire to first in time to gun down Beeman. Sometimes when these pitchers strike out as many guys as they do and you mix in some walks today, these fielders get a little bit caught watching, so to speak.
Yeah, I think so. You got to make sure that you're mentally prepared for a ball to be hit at you. That's a good job by Peyton Holt to come across that play and not make Wehiwa Aloy make it, because that would have been a tough play for a shortstop.
This is Cologne. He has walked and popped to second. That was the curveball, wasn't it? 76?
Yeah, he took a little something extra off of that one. Yeah, the cutter will be sitting about 82, 83.
The cutter's got such break at times it almost looks breaking ball-like, but
you don't see this very out. That's
yeah,
straight over the top. That's 12-6 right there by Mac.
2-strike pitch off the corner. Bases empty, 2 outs in the 6th. McEntire is trying to cruise through this inning. He's going to do just that. McLaughlin near the pillow. Makes the catch. That's a quick inning. Tigers go in order. Hawks need to find some offense. 0-0 through 5.5.
You know, it was hard to just watch from the dugout and, you know, at the SEC tournament and kind of later in the season. And definitely, like, losing that last game, you know, there's definitely, like, I wish I could have done more towards the end. But, you know, we had a lot of guys that stepped up, and I wanted those guys to know that, like, I supported them the whole way, no matter when I was hurt or not. And, you know, so I think for them, you know, we did a great job, and a lot of people overlooked that we won an SEC championship last year. I know a lot of people are disappointed about our regional finish, but it's really hard in the SEC to win the SEC championship. And so super proud of those guys and couldn't be happier for them and our team.
It's really tough to be a good teammate when you're unable to play. And I think that's the test of a person's character. How much can you support your teammates? And I said to Peyton, you know, it would have been nice to have you last year. And his comment to me was, I don't think I could have done any better than what Peyton Holt did, replacing me. And I think that's the sign of a really mature young man.
Yeah, I think so. And Peyton Holt was just on fire at the end of last season, but it's definitely good for Razorback fans to see Peyton Stovall back in there at that cracked bone in his foot on a hit by pitch in a scrimmage, and he seems like he's 100%.
We remember what he did when healthy at the end of the season a couple of years ago as a freshman into the postseason. So for 1 today, facing a new pitcher here from Mizzou. Remember, though, he hit .429 in the postseason, had 21 hits. He was 8 for 16 in Stillwater, went 4 for 8 in Chapel Hill in the Super, and then went 9 for 25 in the College World Series, including a 5-hit game.
Yeah, that's not too shabby for a freshman.
Let's tell you about the new pitcher here for the Tigers, replacing the left-hander Pimentel.
Yeah, Bryce Meyer is the new arm for the Tigers. He'll sit about 90-91 with that fastball, a 4-pitch mix guy. He'll throw the curveball that's straight over the top, the true 12-6 breaking ball, and throw the slider and changeup as well. Kind of that 3-quarter release type guy. How about opponents only hitting .227 off of Mayer?
You've been to Marthersville, Missouri?
I've not.
Okay.
I grew up in the state, but I've not been there.
Missed last season as a medical redshirt, began his college career at St. Charles Community College. Really good freshman campaign, then went to the Appy League. Played for Greenville. 6-1 with 51 strikeouts the next year. Stovall swings, drives one high and deep towards the roof again. Home run, Peyton Stovall. All 9 Arkansas runs this series have come on the long ball, and they've taken out a few chunks of the Hunt Family Development Center. Up, out, and gone. Home run number 22 for the Hogs, and they have hit them in bunches as of late.
Well, number 10's fired up, and that's got to be a good feeling for Peyton Stovall. Really dropped the head on that pitch, and you can see him with just great extension. He wanted to admire that one just a little bit. He got all of it. You can see DVH's reaction off the top, carried him back down onto the field.
First run of the game. Now we see you two. Aloy drives one high in the air, deep left field towards the hog pen. The Hogs go back to back. Stovall and Aloy, and it's 2-0 Razorbacks. And all 10 runs of the series have come on homers. And the hog pen, a happy place to be.
Hey, Brad, how about a 36-degree launch angle for Wehiwa Aloy?
He barely let us get settled in, and he was taking another big hack at a hanger.
Boy, he knew he got that one, and it just carried out. There's some big-time reactions for those fans in there. And look at that. The Arkansas dugout is fired up.
Yes, I would say they are. Youngsters always know where the cameras are at. Didn't work out the way Mayer would have hoped, and we'll see if Coach Jackson is there to settle him down or make a pitching change. He might be there just to kind of calm him down and allow these fans to call the Hogs and try and settle it in, because Pimentel had really, again, caused some frustration for these Arkansas hitters. And Hogs have gone back-to-back now, and Coach Jackson will stay with Mayer to face Kendall Diggs. The problem is, remember, he came out last night when Diggs was batting. We thought he was going to make a pitching change, and Lunsford talked him into staying in the game, and we were wondering if maybe Lunsford was out of gas, and then Diggs hit the homer.
Well, there's nobody throwing in that Missouri bullpen, so this is Mayer's game right now.
Kendall takes a strike, 0 for 2 in the game with a pop-up. Ball and a strike to Kendall Diggs. Is there some pressure to hit one now when your teammates ahead of you, both of them have homered? Are you thinking back to back to back?
You know, it's in the back of your mind. You're just trying to have a good quality at bat right here. And a couple really good pitches by Mayer on Diggs to start off.
Mayer really wants it out to begin this process. Will they get one here? Pop up. And Hernandez will not have a play. It's a couple of rows beyond the edge of the dugout. This was Kendall a night ago. It came in the 4th inning. Hit one 400 feet, and I never saw it come down.
Just kind of disappeared into the darkness.
Diggs waiting on a 1-2. Swinging a foul ball right back. Home run, Peyton Stovall. Home run, Wehiwa Aloy. Kendall Diggs shoots one to left field. Have the Hogs gone back to back to back? Yes, they have. Stovall, Aloy, and Diggs. And things travel in threes, and the Hog pen is up for grabs. The Hogs have found their long ball stroke again.
Just a great quality at bat by Kendall Diggs. Took for the first pitch right down the chute, and then nice pitch by Mayer in the second pitch. He found one in the zone. He didn't try to pull this baseball. He does, it's going to go to second base. Just a great job to let that ball travel and drive it to the opposite field.
There was a split second. I wasn't sure if he had quite enough, but is he counting threes right there?
He is counting threes.
Well, now I mentioned this a couple of times. In the minor leagues, when Joe Nathan was pitching for the Giants system, I had 4 consecutive home runs, and it was, I think, one of just a couple of times in the history of a league that lasted more than 100 years. Well, it won't happen here. Holt hit the hardest ball yet and lines out to third, but 4 straight home runs, about as rare as you can ever imagine. But Peyton hit a bullet, but he's out, retired by Cologne.
Boy, it just really shows what a great job that Pimentel did keeping Arkansas off balance for as long as he did.
Well, McLaughlin is hitless so far in this series. He'd love to change that. 0 for 6, getting a right-hander here.
Bro, we got a shocker. We've got Arkansas with more hits than runs. That hasn't happened in a while.
It has not. Last night, 8 runs, 7 hits. But again, all the 11 runs have come on the long ball in this series. That's a little bit in. We mentioned it even when it was 0-0 through 5. It felt like these were hitter-friendly conditions. The wind was going to help. It wasn't going to hurt. You get a hold of a ball, it's going to go. It's going to fly. And the Hogs have showed us that. As McLaughlin takes a 3-0 strike. Pimentel really did a nice job of keeping Arkansas off balance. Mayer's just trying to swim to shore right now, and that is ball 4. Dugout's been a happy place here in the 6th inning for the Razorbacks. Did we have to resuscitate anybody?
Got to have some fun.
I'm just happy to know Ben Bybee's okay after all the mononucleosis.
Man.
And, he had a hamstring tweak, I think, at some point. Apparently, the flu's gone through this clubhouse as well. It's taken out Bobby Wernes today, and it took out Matt Hobbs on Tuesday. I'm glad I don't spend as much time down there as I used to, right?
Yeah, I know. Got to use a little extra hand sanitizer when you're down the dugout.
Jason Jones is 0 for 2.
Mayer's probably best pitch right there. It was a slider on the outside corner, just painted to black.
You know what Arkansas started to do, Troy? They have adopted this little gorilla, and it goes to the player who's the most aggressive and angry of the game. And so last night Souza got the gorilla, and then there's a gorilla mask that goes with this as well. Now Kendall Diggs has it on, so there's a gorilla mask and there is a pet gorilla. So apparently Souza was carrying around the gorilla yesterday, and he's signing autographs. Somebody had to hold it, and now Souza gets to bestow it upon the player of the game today. And there are a few candidates all of a sudden as Jones wears that one. And back-to-back free base runners after Holt lined out for the first out this inning. So every year you got to have something different.
You got to have some fun in the dugout.
Do you realize our original home run prank guy Hunter Wilson was here the other day when Oral?
Oh,
there we
wow.
go. I didn't realize it was that big.
He would slam the hog hat.
That's right. Wilson was here because he played for both ORU and Arkansas, and then Chad Spanberger was here the other day too.
Oh, wow.
For ORU. But here's Souza, so he's responsible for that gorilla, but not now because he can't take it to the plate. And Souza walked and struck out. Of course, DVH was talking about Souza yesterday. So just what a moment. The guy's swinging at strikes. He's not swinging at balls. That's part of it. Really came back after the first of the year, ready to roll after the fall, which can be a bit eye-opening for any freshman to face Arkansas's pitchers in the fall and then try and compete. You're behind Stovall and Aloy and whatnot, and yet he's found his way into this lineup more often than not.
If you keep swinging the bat the way he has, you're going to find your name in the lineup.
In the air to shallow center. This is going to be a long run, and a sliding catch is made by Pierre. I wasn't sure if he was going to get there or not. Yesterday, when Souza homered the first time up at 98 miles an hour exit velocity, I think it was the lowest exit velo of the entire game for him, and that was the one he homered on the first time.
Yeah, it didn't get out by much, and I was a little shocked. He kind of watched that one just a little bit, and I said, that didn't clear the fence by too much. But Arkansas are trying to take advantage of a couple free base runners here. Missouri trying to get out of this jam.
And Lovich will bat. He got the first Arkansas single with 2 outs in the 5th inning on a little jam job and flare out into left center. Two on and 2 out. And that's a strike over the inside corner for Mayer to Lovich.
Do we have Ty Wilmsmeyer running at first base? I believe we do.
Running for Jason Jones.
Might move him at the center field and Lovich to left.
Big wave and a miss by Lovich. Arkansas scored all 3 of their runs this inning. Might not mind a little more. The Tigers really would love to get back into the dugout in the 7th. That ball sliced to the gap, left center field. It is down. It's going to go all the way to the fence. It's going to score 2. And now Lovich around second, on his way to third base with a 2-run triple. And the Razorbacks have taken a 5-0 lead. Here laid out for it, couldn't get it. And then Lovich just cruised into third base.
Yeah, off the bat, you thought that Here might have had a play on it, and that ball just continued to slice away from him. The spin off the left-hand bat of Lovich, you can see it just keep carrying away from him. It was a great effort, but as soon as that ball got by him, you knew that Lovich was going to be standing on third. How about another couple free base runners for Arkansas coming across the walk to McLaughlin, the hit by pitch to Jones.
Yeah, that's the tough part for the Tigers. And Coach Jackson knew that was a possibility coming in. Didn't want to have to chase the Razorbacks. They're chasing out 5-0 pitching change. We'll be back with the new hurler for the Tigers in a moment. Troy, I would say the Razorbacks have found the long ball swing again this inning.
Well, I don't think that fans are having to worry about the power of Arkansas. You see the home run by Stovall, Aloy, and then how about Diggs? You can see Ben Bybee, he's fired up in the dugout. Kendall's going 3, that's just ridiculous, and the gorilla has made its way out into the dugout.
That was one fired up Kendall Diggs, gorilla mask in tow. And meanwhile, now the Missouri Tigers have gone to their bullpen.
And they're going to bring in Charlie Miller, the freshman right-hander. Not sure where Lowman, Missouri is as well, but
what's for crying out loud, Troy? You're a Missouri native.
These are some small towns. The last one was over by St. Louis, I'll give you that.
All right.
Miller's going to sit in the upper 80s with that fastball.
Rolling the batter, the ball kicks away. Lovich on the wild pitch will score to make it 6-0, and that's not the way Miller wanted to start his outing.
Yeah, Hernandez did all he could do to try to block that one, but that's about a 54-footer.
Not much to complain about today. Just waiting for your turn for Wehiwa Aloy.
Talk about an explosion right there. How about Arkansas in the 6th inning?
Troy, this is what good offenses can do. And I know Arkansas maybe is a good offense that's waiting to show it on a more regular basis. But if the pitcher like Pimentel, who's doing a great job keeping them off balance, I'm sure the feeling was in that dugout. Get this guy out of the game and let's take our cracks against somebody else and maybe we can put forth different results.
Yeah, I think so. And that just shows that, you know, Arkansas was patient. They pushed that pitch count up of Pimentel, and he was outstanding. But again, there's only so much you can do, and got to that Missouri bullpen and really took advantage of it.
3-2 to Roland, 9th man to hit this inning. And now we'll turn it over, and Stovall, who began this inning with a homer, just missing being up on the roof, gets to bat again. So the electrician Jerry might have to go up there and wait to see if he can retrieve another one. Sometimes a few of those balls last night may have walked in the front door at Foghorns in order to drink.
I think so.
Might have just bounced across the street and gone in for a beverage or two, which doesn't sound like a bad idea.
So Charlie Miller's just kind of getting thrown into the deep end of the pool right here. This is came in only thrown 5 1/3 innings, and you're going, okay, here's conference play.
It's only human to sit out there in the bullpen and watch what Arkansas has done this inning, and you're thinking, I've got to be fine. I can't be over the heart of the plate. I can't hang a pitch. And then in so doing, you find yourself behind hitters.
Yeah, you walk one, and now you're 2-0 against Peyton Stovall. It's not a good place to be.
Stovall will take, and that's a good one for a strike. That the changeup?
Yeah, well, that was a really nice changeup, 2-0. Not giving in was Charlie Miller. Might throw that one back to back right here.
Went behind him. Remember, he was hit by a pitch earlier. In fact, in the first inning, and that one goes to the backstop, so that's the second wild pitch of the frame.
Arkansas has also had 3 hit batters in this ball game. So we talked about the free base runners that Missouri just felt like they couldn't afford this Arkansas team to have any extra bodies on the bases. There's still nobody warming up in the Tiger bullpen.
No, and this is where Hernandez, rather than a mound visit, is going to try and get his guy locked in. And if nothing else, you just want to end this inning. A 5-run frame, a 6-run frame for the Razorbacks.
Now the Hogs are back to more runs than hits. 6 runs, 5 hits. They've been loud hits, though.
They have. 3-1 to Stovall, and that's ball 4. So, Wehiwa Aloy, who homered earlier this inning, has a chance for 2. So Wehiwa had 2 homers all year. He has a chance for 2 homers in this inning. And they will come in bunches, I believe, for Wehiwa at times.
I think he's one of those guys that get hit, 4 in a week or something like that.
I wouldn't put it past him. He had to get his fellow Hawaiian out of the game in Pimentel. Nice breaking ball. Six runs home this inning. Rowland at second, Stovall at first. And that one, same pitch, but it didn't break as much, and it stayed high, 1-1. Arkansas has hit 7 home runs in the series. 3 of them by Hawaiians. Jesus had 2 yesterday. Lovich and Diggs.
Did you ever think you were going to say that?
Kansas City natives and Hawaiians are hitting a lot of home runs.
There you go.
And then mix in a Stovall. Aloy got that off the end of the bat. He's not going to get a second home run of the inning. But, Troy, there were plenty in between.
They really were. Peyton Stovall got things rolling. The first batter of the inning, the solo shot. How about another one for Wehiwa Aloy? And just to top things off, Kendall Diggs wanted to join the party as well.
One big crooked number comprising all the runs so far in this game. A 6-run 6th inning. And Brady Tygart, Troy, just didn't quite get through that 5th. The 4 walks a little bit uncharacteristic of him today.
Yeah, again, it just shows you the quality of Brady Tygart to not have his good stuff and still keep the opponent scoreless.
Will McEntire's going to get one out on 1 pitch. That's Wilmsmeyer in center, retiring Garcia. Lovich moves to left, and there's 1 gone for Jadier Hernandez. And I talked to Hernandez before the game, Troy. I saw him in the Appy League a couple of years ago. Get to be part of that All-Star game with MLB. And, he was at Seton Hall, and he said, this place is incredible. He did say there was an 11-year-old girl heckling him in the bullpen yesterday. I said, well,
starting him young.
You got to toughen up a little bit. But he said, this feels like the minors. And, he's just kind of soaking it all in. And I would imagine playing at Seton Hall, and he didn't get rung up on a swing there, so it's 1-0. It is a little bit different when you get this flavor. He kind of took that to the edge, but not a strike call. And I said, you could be here when there's more fans here. And he goes, how? And I said, well, there's an empty seat here, and there's 4 or 5 there. When LSU comes to town, you won't find those.
No, that's going to be a hot ticket for sure.
2-0 pitch taken for a called strike. But sometimes I just enjoy talking to players, and oftentimes it's in the non-conference series when these teams roll in here that haven't had this experience, just to kind of see what they see, how the other half lives. Because, as a mid-major player in those non-con games, it's a lot of fun. And Hernandez will ground out here to Stovall, but, this is the first weekend, so, you haven't been through the rigors yet. of a couple of road trips, maybe to Ole Miss or State or whatever.
Yeah, it's
LSU.
It's impressive. And I tell you what, when you've not played in front of that many fans, it does make you just a little bit nervous.
I think so. I mean, you have to be aware as Pierre Bats, and that's why I kind of enjoyed having Jeff Blum up here. I mean, this is a guy that goes to a big league game every night in front of 35,000 people on average. And you come here, but you can still appreciate this experience that's so different than so many other college venues. Pitch a little bit high. It's 2-0. And it's one of the reasons why Arkansas has enjoyed a lot of success in this ballpark. And they're trying to win their 12th straight game of the season here today. And, you know, we haven't even mentioned it all today in a couple of hours. This is the #1 team in the country. You know, I mean, it kind of gets overlooked a little bit.
Yeah, you just kind of get used to all the success. And I think Dave Van Horn has really spoiled this fan base of just the consistency year in, year out.
3-0 pitch in there for a strike. And, you know, football didn't go the way I think anybody would have liked. There was great anticipation for basketball, you know, the Purdue game and Duke and whatnot. And then basketball had kind of a rough finish. So I think fans have turned towards baseball as they normally do at this time of the year, as Pierre waves and misses. And that level of expectation, that, you know, that attention just kind of gets magnified.
Yeah, it's kind of taken a little bit of a tick up, I believe.
McEntire's battled back to send the count full, and he's going to get a pop-up here that Holt will pay a courtesy visit on, but it's up on top of the roof and out of play.
Pierre would love to get hit number 2 for Missouri. Just find a hole somewhere.
Swing a foul off the foot. How many times has somebody fouled a ball off their ankle or shoe in this game and a half? Too many.
It just shows like how Arkansas is just the spin on those pitches, just getting a little bit of it and hitting them straight down.
McEntire ready with another payoff pitch to Caden Pierre. And that's ball 4. So the Tigers have been patient today. They've made these Razorback pitchers work even when they have just the one hit so far in this game.
Yeah, they've drawn some walks, hit batter.
5 walks, couple of hit batters.
Just anything you can do to get on base.
Here's Brock Daniels. I've seen him at the youth level a little bit. Started with the Sooners in Oklahoma. St. Louis native. Fans were saying they were watching on TV and it's a strike. Well, I can assure them it was not.
No, it was quite in.
2-0.
Danny Cricks has had a really solid zone as well as Morris Hodges is not a go.
It's amazing, again, when you have that ability of technology, whether you're a hitter to understand the zone or you're an umpire and, you know, you're graded on it, you're evaluated. Hitters have batting averages and numbers, and playing time is reflective of how good they are. You start to understand what that universal zone is. And there's no longer I have a zone and you have a zone. There is a zone.
It is really just kind of taking umpiring to another level.
I would agree. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Daniels was hit by a pitch in the 5th against Tygart. He really is shortening up on the bat here, and he's going to wave and miss. That's a strikeout. So Mizzou has just 1 hit through 7 innings. It's a 6-0 Razorback lead as we stretch them out from Bob Walker. Fans sufficiently stretched out. 6-0 Hogs as we go to the bottom of the 7th. Let's take a look at some of the news and notes around the NCAA. It's kind of a fun time of the year in college baseball. We're seeing some big-time matchups. Duke, though, took a series last weekend from Wake Forest, moving up to 6 in the polls. Of course, Arkansas, the new #1 team, according to D1 Baseball, as we well know. Oregon State, the lone Pac-12 team ranked. And, of course, there'll be no Pac-12 next year, and Oregon State will be kind of a team without a conference. So that's
going to be tough for them.
Yeah, it's not great for the Beavers. One of the best baseball programs out west as Kendall Diggs comes to bat here in the bottom of the 7th inning. And Troy, you also have some new conference teams. How about Houston and now BYU? They're in the same conference. So the first Big 12 road series for Houston, that's their vantage point.
Man, that's
in Provo. How about that look?
That's pretty sweet. Some of those guys in Houston may have never even seen snow.
Never seen a hill. And they put the visiting team in the first base dugout because legend has it they want them to stare at the mountains and maybe just lose a little bit of focus. You like that?
Yeah, whatever they can do. Any advantage.
No, they've never seen snow. They've never seen a hill. Kendall Diggs against a new pitcher, a left-hander, Magdish, working here in the bottom of the 7th.
Yeah, really big-bodied lefty, Ryan Magdish, 6'5", 240. He'll sit around 90, 91 with that fastball, mixing a slider and a change as well.
Kendall homered on the back end of 3 straight last inning. For Diggs, it was home run number 5. Got a Canadian. He's seen snow, I guarantee you that.
Yeah, and then some. Feet of snow.
I was doing a Zoom the other day, maybe just a couple of days ago, with some people in Colorado, and they were late getting on, and finally somebody pops on and said, hey, sorry, we had 12 inches of snow last night.
Yeah, they got hammered. Some good for some snow skiers, and that's about it.
Diggs with a big wave of the miss. One of the few times he'll expand the zone just a bit. Nice pitch from Magdish to get the K to begin the Hawks' 7th inning.
That was a good one right under the hands of Kendall Diggs. Magdish just got a little bit more juice than what the scouting report said. He's been running one up to 93, 94. Got a really short arm. Those short arm guys, the balls it gets on those hitters a little bit faster.
Peyton Holt lined to third his last time in. He's 0 for 2. Did walk back in the first inning. Peyton starting at third this afternoon. Hits a chopper to third to Cologne. He's going to have to hurry that throw, and that's a strong toss across the diamond, retiring Holt. 2 gone.
Cologne took the big hop, and when you got a gun like that, you can take a little extra time getting to that baseball.
Ben McLaughlin is 0 for 2. He did walk and score last inning. He scored the first run of the series that didn't come on a homer when Lovich tripled with 2 outs past the diving pier in center. Sharply hit to second, but right at Austin, and the Hogs go quickly and in order in the 7th inning. Nice job by Magdish. We go to the 8th inning. 6-0 Arkansas. Hogs trying to win the series. Dugouts type of a day here at Baum Walker. Really turned into a nice afternoon, Troy. It's a little bit cool this morning, but no complaints here this afternoon.
No, there's a lot of people catching a lot of rays, especially on that third base line.
Got some Jesse's Girl blaring over the PA system. Where else would you rather be today?
Got to be at the ballpark.
All right. Well, McEntire, they're just going to keep playing Jesse's Girl, too. Go ahead, just play it through. This is Trevor Austin, who has the only Missouri hit when he singled in the 4th inning. Yesterday, he doubled in the 4th inning, and that was the first Missouri hit.
Yeah, Austin has been a lot of their offense so far, and Arkansas pitchers have just kept these Tiger hitters off balance.
Last year he made 54 starts between second base and left field, had 59 hits and had 8 homers. Played some games as a freshman in 21 and 22 as a sophomore. You know, last year, what Mizzou did in that opening series, and it wasn't exactly warm. They were at home in Columbia. They swept Tennessee. And there's a high pop-up on the right side of the diamond. McLaughlin, it's his play, and he'll make the catch 1 out. And I think that was a really big weekend for the Tigers when they were able to, take down a Tennessee team. Tony Vitello coming back to Columbia. And I know they'd love to get a win here, but it's looking more and more likely as if it'll have to be tomorrow if Hogs and McEntire can shorten this game.
Yeah, you're right. That was a really big series for Missouri last season because Tennessee had an excellent ball club and great pitching staff.
And as I mentioned, with their win yesterday, they've won 17 in a row as Jackson Lovich bats.
Tony V's got things rolling over there in Knoxville. It's not a surprise.
17, that's hard to win 17 straight games. Lovich lifts one to right. Diggs is there. He's got it. 2 outs. Arkansas with that win yesterday, an 8-0 victory. In fact, they're trying to put forth back-to-back shutouts. The last time they had a shutout win in the SEC opener, it was against Missouri in 2019 in a 2-0 game. Well, yesterday was 8-0, now 6-0 here this afternoon, and Tigers down to their final 4 outs. Thomas Curry is 0 for 1.
What's the term that Matt Hobbs says about Will McEntire? He just swallows up innings.
That man swallows up strikeouts.
And then some. I'd have a smile on my face, too, if I was Hagen Smith.
All Hagen has done now in 5 starts is have 50 strikeouts, and he had 1 strikeout or 1 inning in the first appearance.
Yeah, that didn't even count. You just got to throw that one out.
And that's where you look at his last 3, and the numbers become that much more ridiculous. 22 innings and 48 strikeouts. That's a wave and a miss. McEntire barely gives me time to work into my stories. I'm going to have to plan my ad-libs to be a little bit faster. Six 0 Arkansas with the lead as they bat in the bottom of the 8th inning. Take a look at the scores around the SEC. What jumps out at you today, Troy? Obviously, that A&M Florida game will be fun tonight.
I think so, but what about Kentucky and Georgia? Georgia's got a big-time hitting team, and really those Kentucky pitchers are shutting them down. Pounded out 14 hits and 9 runs as well, too.
LSU really doesn't want to lose that series to start their SEC season. Vanderbilt, I feel like Troy is going to be formidable this year.
I do too. Their offense is a lot better than I think a lot of people are giving them credit for, and they can always pitch.
Yeah, I would agree.
They can always pitch.
Ole Miss over South Carolina 12-3. Oxford. Ole Miss will be here this year. Of course, A&M lost yesterday, so the ranks of the unbeatens dwindling. We're down to 1 as Wilmsmeyer bats. Magdish was awfully good last inning, cruised through the 7th inning. There's a liner to the second baseman, Austin. So Wilmsmeyer hit a rocket, but his former teammate made the catch.
It's one of those swings that off the bat you're thinking, okay, if you have the speed of Wilmsmeyer, you're thinking that might get to the gap and might be able to kick the Jets on and get to third.
Well, there are the Seminoles, 16-0, the last undefeated Division I team, hosting the Fighting Irish in an ACC opening weekend series. But Notre Dame is leading in the 8th.
Wow.
And here's Souza. Souza's 0 for 2. He's been hit by a pitch. Facing a tough lefty now in his 3rd at bat. This is why you think you get off to a great start, and he did, and then all of a sudden you're facing 2 or 3 different pitchers. You're facing a tough lefty when you're trying to squeak out a hit today. He's hit by a pitch in his first plate appearance, and he didn't quite care for that, but the count's 1-2 after the strike was called.
Yeah, Magdish has looked really good as he's coming out of that bullpen.
Just missed off the corner. Magdish wanted the K.
About 95.
Giddy up. That's a wave and a miss. So Magdish has come on, Troy, faced 5, retired 5, and struck out 2.
Boy, he has looked outstanding. You wonder if he's one of those guys that might even be able to come back and throw again tomorrow. But, boy, that short arm swing and the slider's got some really good bite. The fastball, the velocity's there. And the command has been spot on as well.
Yeah, really good. Really impressive. quite the necklace he's got on as well. Got some bling.
It does.
Lovich tripled in a couple of runs back in the 6th. He's 2 for 3, and he's hit into a double play. The RBIs have really jumped up. Ross had 12 RBIs over his last 23 at-bats, and then he tacked on 2 more, so 14 runs driven in over a 26 at-bat stretch. Were it not for the fact that he was going to face a left-handed starter, he might have been batting much higher in the lineup today than 8th.
Yeah, I think so. And again, if he keeps swinging the bat the way he is, he's going to see his name on that lineup.
Waving a miss. So Magdish, 2 perfect innings. He's outstanding. We go to the 9th. Can the Razorbacks get back-to-back shutouts over the Tigers to begin this weekend? Well, the bases aren't the only thing that might be loaded, but everybody having a good time here at Baum-Walker. 10,434 today, Troy, and yesterday you were wrong on the attendance, so we've had about 20,500 for the first 2 games.
Yeah, there's been a few, and it'll be a good crowd tomorrow, maybe just a little bit late arriving crowd on Sundays, but boy, the Hog fans sure love their baseball.
Nice afternoon for baseball. Right now, the Tigers would like to get on the board. Jackson Beeman facing McEntire. Troy, all he has done is just rear back and pump strikes.
Yeah, he is just picking apart those Tiger hitters, mixing in the fastball and the cutter, and I don't think you've seen anything else.
Maybe a breaking ball or 2, but that's about it. Maybe that was one that he bounced.
He just overthrew that one, didn't want to hang the curve. Anything under 80 is that breaking ball. Mac's not going to be outdone with a nice chain as well, too.
Got maybe a battle of necklaces.
Maybe not quite as much bling, but
not as shiny. Bouncer to short. Aloy will charge. Throws that dart across the diamond. Retires Beeman to begin the Missouri 9th inning. So McEntire and Tygart are trying to combine on a 1-hit shutout.
McEntire is just one of those guys, his personality looks like he's just strolling through the park.
Unaffected.
Yeah. Mac goes a little old school, like no T-shirt underneath the uni. He just throws on the jersey and is ready to go.
Two another count. That's high again. McEntire is going to get a pop-up 3-0. So Cologne was swinging away, and there is McLaughlin, and Missouri down to its final out.
You're a little surprised by that when you're down 6 in the 9th. You need base runners.
Now batting for Missouri, number 4, Matt Garcia.
It's up to Matt Garcia. He's 0 for 3. So Missouri has had one runner reach third base in the series.
It's just a testament to this Arkansas pitching staff. And talk about just bowing your neck and just going out there and doing a job.
Pumping strikes. Tigers down to their final out, final strike in the 9th inning as the fans come to their feet here at Baum-Walker. The 1-2 is chopped foul wide at first.
That's a nice play over there at first base.
1 ball, 2 strikes. On the appeal, no swing, says our third base umpire, Morris Hodges. Earpiece and all, it's 2-2. Garcia able to check against McEntire. Allows the drama to build maybe a little bit more. And the 2-2 pitch. Strike 3 called. Tygart and McEntire combined to blank Mizzou on 1 hit. And back-to-back-to-back homers lift the Hogs to back-to-back shutouts. It's a dirty dozen, 12 straight wins for the Razorbacks.
Yeah, Arkansas was just completely impressive today. On the mound, they got the big swings when they needed to from Stovall, Aloy, and Diggs. And again, the pitching staff just keeps on rolling along, Brett.
2-hour, 27-minute game after a 2-hour, 27-minute game yesterday.
Man, how about that?
And the Hogs have their 7th straight SEC opening series win. And 1 big inning, Troy, did a lot of the damage offensively.
But it really did. How about back-to-back-to-back by Arkansas? And again, just the bats woke up when they needed to.
Arkansas 16-2 with the win. Do it again tomorrow. Arkansas will go for the sweep. Another 2 o'clock Central Time start from Bob Walker. The Tigers and the Razorbacks had a flyover today. Gorgeous day at the ballpark. And Arkansas with another win. They've won 12 straight. Do it again tomorrow. So for Troy Eklund and our entire crew, I'm Brett Dolan, thanking you for tuning in. Once again, our final score, another shutout for the Razorbacks. They blank Mizzou 6-0. So long and good afternoon from Bob Walker Stadium in Northwest Arkansas.